you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on this really fun yet simple festival look. I had a really hard time debating on exactly what I wanted to do because I had so many ideas in my head and I couldn't decide if I wanted to do an all white look or like a colored look or a rainbow look, because you know I'm all about like bright colors. So I asked a couple of my college friends, and my friend Abby, she said all white because you can wear that with anything, and I thought that was brilliant. So I was like, okay, done. So I have a couple of announcements. The first announcement is that when I was talking to my friend Caroline about doing this look, she was like, hey, you know, why don't you do a series based on looks like this, like college kids, and like she's in a sorority, like sorority girls have like theme parties sometimes. I know I used to work at Applebee's and I was a waitress, and we had like theme nights once a month, and those were my favorite because I went all out. So this will be the very first look in my new series called Party Themes. I am so excited to do this, and I feel like Caroline is a genius for even coming up with this idea. I have to give her all of the credit. Okay, so for the second announcement, if you guys have looked at my Instagram, I am almost at 5,000 followers. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I have only been doing this since February 3rd, so it's just a little over 2 months. And a lot of people might think, oh my god, 5,000 followers, like that's not that many. Well, let me tell you something. If you're like a musician or something and you have like a little band and you want to go and play and you have a crowd of like 5,000 people, I think you're going to be ecstatic. So 5,000 people for me is huge. There's not even 5,000 people in our little small town that I live in Eastern Kentucky. So I am blown away, and like I have gotten so much love from you guys. And I want to appreciate you just as much as I would if I had like millions of followers. So I would love to do a giveaway on my Instagram as soon as I hit 5,000 or right after. And I would like to know, what would you guys like to win in a giveaway? Is there a palette that you would like the Blood Sugar palette, the KKW X Mario palette? What is it that you guys would like to win? Let me know. Leave me comments on here. Please go to my Instagram and leave me a comment and let me know what you guys want, and I will try my best to gather together all of your all's responses, and I will pick the top 2 things or the top 2 palettes or whatever that you guys have said that you wanted, and I will put it into a poll on an Instagram post and let you guys battle it out and vote for which thing that you guys would like. I just want to show you guys my appreciation and my love back to you all for all the love that you guys have been sending me. Okay, so enough chit chat. Let's just go right into this tutorial on this festival look that I created. Oh, it's just me without makeup. First thing I'm going to start off with is the Tatcha water cream. I'm going to make sure that my skin is really nice and moisturized. I would also really suggest, if you're going to be out in the sun all day, to use an SPF. For a primer, I'm going to go in with the Farsali Unicorn Essence. I love this stuff. It is so good as a primer, but it just smells so wonderful. I swear I could just about eat it. Next, I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Face Base, Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And I like to focus this mainly on my T-zone where my pores are kind of the biggest or more prominent. For foundation today, I'm going to use the Dior Forever Foundation. It has an SPF of 35. I would highly recommend using a foundation with an SPF in it. And to go along with our dewy look, I'm just going to use my Beautyblender so that it keeps some moisture in our skin. I only like to do half of my face at a time when I use this Dior foundation because I feel like it dries pretty quick. And I'm going to go ahead and go over my eye area as well. And under my eyes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. And for my brows today, I'm going to go in with the Wonder Brow because it is waterproof. So if you're sweating and stuff, it's going to stay on and you're not going to be like missing part of a brow if you like accidentally touch it or whatever. I'm probably going to speed this clip up a little bit, but if you would like to see how I do my brows, I will link my brow tutorial up above so you can just click on it. So for contour and bronzer today, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Cream Contour Palette because I want to keep everything as liquid, dewy, and fresh as we can without using a lot of powders. For myself, I'm just going to mix these two shades right here. I'm just going to dot that around my forehead. I'm going to go ahead and come around, and I'm going to dot that through here, and I'm gonna stop about right here because I want it to blend this way, but if I put product here, then I'm gonna have to blend it more and it's gonna come in too far. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out here so that I can get rid of my double chin. That's always really important to me. And I feel like if I just lightly tap it into my skin like this, it's a lot easier to blend as opposed to like a harsh line. And right here, I like to make sure I keep it on the outer because I want highlight to go here. And to blend this out, I'm going to use my Clarisonic Mia too because I feel like a Clarisonic with the foundation attachment will blend out cream contour so much better than a beauty sponge or anything else you can use. And I'm going to do this in kind of a bigger circle and so that it will go up into my hairline and then blend towards the center of my face, but of course we're not going to go to the center of the face. And here I'm going to make sure I don't come in too far because I don't want to cover up where I'm going to use the highlighter. And see, this will blend it on towards your face, but it gradually fades, and that's what we want. And then after I have it, I think I have it all blended, I'm just going to go back over the entire thing again just to make sure. Now to go in with a little bit of highlight to highlight my face, I'm going to take those same two concealers and I'm going to take my this is the Morphe Highlight and Contour Beauty Sponge, and I'm just going to dab a few dots of that on there, and then I'm going to dab a few dots of this one on there, and then I'm just going to press that into my face where I would normally highlight, but I want to do it lightly. So I'm just going to tap it like this, get a little bit of the product on, and then I'm going to switch sides and I'm just going to blend that out into the contour ever so slightly. And using the liquid product is just going to help us to keep the effect of fresh dewy skin without looking like we have a bunch of makeup on. I'm going to do a little bit there and there. And then I'm also just to clean this up right in here to make sure that it's nice and contoured. I'm going to just do it right there too. Okay, and then I really do feel like I need to conceal my under eyes, especially if this is like your second or third night at a festival and you're a little dehydrated. Then you're definitely going to need concealer. But I'm going to go in very lightly and not put that much. And I'm just going to keep that focused right under the eye. I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to dot that around and kind of press it into the skin. Do you see where, like, here's where your eye socket is? Like, I'm going to go over it a little bit in the corner to make like a little triangle, but I'm not gonna go past it when I go here. And I'm gonna stop it like where my eye socket is, right here. So just in the corner, so we can bring it to the base of the nose. And then to the outer socket and the lower part. And then I'm just going to take my mini beauty sponge again, and I'm going to press that in there so that it's moisturized, but it's also blended a little better. And then I'm going to take my foundation sponge, and I'm just going to use that to blend it so that you can't really tell where the concealer starts and stops and where the foundation starts. Okay, now I have to set my under eyes or it's going to look like a creasy mess later. So I am going to use a little bit of the RCMA translucent powder, but I'm going to dip my brush, or I'm going to dip my mini beauty blender in it, and I'm going to tap off any excess. I mean I'm brushing it mostly off. There's like the tiniest amount, and I'm only going to press that directly under the eye where my eyes would crease. Now I would really highly recommend going in with a cream blush, using your finger just to tap it around, but I actually don't have a cream blush or a liquid blush, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this Kylie Cosmetics blush very lightly and just tap it into my skin right here. And I'm also going to bring it just a little bit right here, because if you get sunburned out in the sun, that's where you get sunburned. It's just going to make it look more natural. And then for highlighter, I'm going to go in with the Temptu that I got in the BoxyCharm, and I'm going to use that to highlight. It's a liquid highlighter, and what I'm going to do is just take my beauty blender and put a few dots of it on there. And I'm going to press it into my skin, any place that I want to look highlighted. Now I don't know about you, but with my highlighter, I want it to glow for the gods. I want you to be able to see it from outer space. I'm also gonna go in with the Kylie wet set over top of that, because this is like the most blinding highlight in the world. And I'm just gonna like mix these two. This one has a pink undertone, and I just think it'll look really good with a festival look. Oh my gosh. And over top of that liquid highlighter, it just dies. I mean, do you see this? Oh, and I'm just telling you, every highlighter that I use doesn't do that. Not even on camera. Since I've been using this, every time I take a picture of my face, the end of my nose is like, beam. It's like, I'm serious. Like, I had an alien call me the other night because they wanted to know what that signal was. Now, for eyeshadow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in to this cream contour palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to go back in with the two colors that I contoured with. And I'm just going to use my finger this time. And I'm just going to press that right where I would put my eyeshadow. I'm going to put it on my lid. I'm going to put it down next to my lash line. And then I'm going to blend it up. But I'm always going to start, every time I dip into the palette, I'm going to start laying it here, because that's where the most of the product is going to go the first time you press your finger down. And I want it to mostly be down here, and I want it to blend up. I wanted a more natural look for today. If you feel like you're getting too much up there, just take your finger, a clean finger, and press around it to blend it out. You can see that it is still covering up the veins, but leaving just the tiniest, I mean, I have to look really hard to see it, but you can a little bit see the veins. And I like that because it just adds to the more natural look, but it's so not. You know, you still have makeup on. And only when I barely have any product left on my finger am I going to start blending it up towards my crease. Now I have hooded eyes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look around, look up a lot, because if I don't, then whatever is here will deposit itself up here later, and I don't want to look like it has a harsh line up here. So I just want to make sure that I blend at least that high. If you want to set this with a little bit of powder, I think that would be okay, but I would recommend just going in with a contour shade, like in the Shade and Light palette. If your eyes crease up, then you might want to take like the first two shades very, very lightly on a fluffy brush and just kind of tap it over it just a little bit, just to set it. Now I'm going to take this Morphe MB47 and I'm just going to take the tiniest amount of both of those shades again, and I'm just going to tap it under my eye right here so that it kind of brings the look together. And then after this has had a second to dry, I'm just going to take a clean finger again to blend out the edges of it a little bit. I'm going to put just a little coat of mascara on here. You can only do mascara if you want. This is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Nior mascara. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply my lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that our lashes are on, I'm just going to go back into the Kylie palette and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this shade right here. And it's called Privacy Please. And I'm just going to dust that just a little bit on my brow bone. And then I'm going to take a little bit of both of these colors again and I'm just going to dot those into the inner corner to brighten that up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is the center jewel piece for my forehead, and I'm just going to use this jewel piece right here and it just will peel off of there, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that I get this in the center of my forehead. Now you can get these jewel pieces off of Amazon, and that's what I did. I got like a whole pack of different ones for, I want to say like $7 or $8. It was really affordable. Now this has an adhesive to it, so I didn't use anything else, but if you think that you need something else to make sure that it really sticks throughout the day, I would recommend going in with the House of Lashes glue. You can get the clear kind and it will work really well. So for this look, I was really inspired by like the henna tattoos. I love them so much, but I don't want to do like a straight across lines because I have kind of a bigger forehead and I have like a widow's peak here, so I want to play that up a little bit and I want to do like, you know, like a V, if that makes sense. What I'm going to do is use the little card that came with this jewel piece, and I'm just going to use the edge of it because it's nice and straight. Where I'm going to start is right here, and I'm going to start off by using a white pencil, because like a white eyeliner pencil, because I want to be able to erase it if I mess up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right above it, and I'm just going to place the paper like that, and then I will just see I messed up a little bit, and it's fine because I can just go right over it. And then I want to go ahead and do the other side to make sure that they look even, and I just want to lightly lay my pencil down like right there. It's a little harsh, so I'm just going to take my finger. I'm just going to go ahead and go to this so that I can make sure that I get it evenly in the middle. So I'm going to go right in the middle of these two. I think I'll turn it this way so it's not as long, and I'm going to make sure that it looks centered here before I bring it in. And you want to go just a little bit below the center because your pencil is going to press up against that. So I'm going to go right here and just pray to God that I got it right. Okay, not really, but if I just went like a tad hair lower and then dust off the top, and then I think I want one more line to go like right here. Okay, now that I have that drawn on, What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this Mehron makeup palette, and well, it's not really makeup, it's more like paint. It's like face and body paint, and the inside of it just looks like this. This row over here is all white. All three of these are white shades, and that's what I'm going to be going in with. And I've got this brush set here that I got from Amazon, and it's just Art Axe synthetic face painting brushes. And there's one in here that is like kind of big, but it's got like an angle, so I'm going to use that to take that white and go right over top of our lines. So I have like a bottle of water here. I'm just going to pour just a little bit of water into the cap of it, like the tiniest amount, because you don't need a whole lot of water, and these are really pigmented. So I'm just going to tap this on here because we do have that bronzer and stuff on there, and I don't want the bronzer to blend into this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with these gemstones that I got when Charles and I got married, and I used these for my bouquet because, for those of you who don't know, we made our bouquets out of comic book pages, so it looked like, you know, flowers out of comic book pages, and we bedazzled them with jewels. Okay, so it does come off on a little strip like this, and I want this to go right in the center of the middle line, and then when I get it to my hairline, and then I'm just gonna tear the last piece off, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Oh my gosh, of all the days for my hands to be shaky, this is not the one. Get it together. I'm trying to pull this off without pulling my baby hairs out. Okay, now I'm gonna take a smaller brush that's just kind of flat, and I'm gonna go back into the white. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I want to make like little triangles. So I'm just gonna take this brush and I'm gonna lay the first one down, and then I'm just gonna take the edge of that brush and use it like that, instead of taking like a small little precision brush and trying to draw straight lines. I just feel like this makes it easier. If you mess up, it's okay. Everybody there is going to be so like drunk and out of their mind that they're not even going to realize. And then for this side, I want to kind of make like circles. I might actually have to use a precision brush for this one, which is going to be hard because my hands are so shaky. So I'm not making like circles. It's kind of like egg circles. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here and color in between the circles, because I just feel like it might make it look a little more clean. I'm going to take this brush that I used to do like the under eye. I'm going to, you know, make sure there's nothing on it, and I'm going to dip into the first color in the contour palette, the cream contour palette, and I'm very lightly, like I'm barely tapping it. I don't want much product on there at all, but starting right here, I'm just going to kind of dust it here, just the tiniest bit, because I just want to give that line like a little shading, and I feel like it'll make it look cleaner and nicer. But I'm not going to bring it all the way in just because that's where we concealed. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I'm just going to lightly tap it, but I will go almost to the center. I will just go like right there. And I'm going to keep going in with this brush. I'm going to go, I don't want to really touch the diamonds because I don't want to make them look dirty, but I'm just going to go underneath this line to make it look more precise and shaded. And then I'm going to do the same thing above this line. Okay, I'm going to take this Morphe 213 brush, and I'm going to go back into that palette, just doing the same thing. I'm just going to take that lightest shade, and what I'm going to do is just lightly tap it into the middle of these triangles, trying not to touch the white lines. It's just going to give us like the tiniest bit of shading, but it will also give us dimension, and it will help clean up our look a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing in these little circles. I feel like these little circles is what needs to be cleaned up the most. So you can see the difference between this and this. I think this looks so much nicer on this side. I'm going to go ahead and take another strip of these jewels, and I'm going to place them right underneath. And then this is a good time to cover up any mistakes you might have made, like making that line too thick. Loki, what are you eating down there? I have a puppy, which you guys have seen. If you watch my other videos, you guys have seen him a few times, but he's in this phase where he wants to eat everything. I love how this is turning out so far. Okay, so I'm not gonna lay like another white line down or anything, but I just thought this would look good. We're gonna try it and see. Just a little, maybe bring it in just a little bit more. Just a little line like this, just an extra little line. Ultimately, I decided, you can do whatever you want, but I decided to go in with a matte liquid lipstick because I would like to place like a few of those jewels like down the center of my bottom lip, and it's not really going to stick that to gloss like at all and stay. So I think that the liquid lipstick I'm going to go in with is Decay by Kylie Cosmetics, because this is such a neutral look. I would like just a little bit of color. So I'm just going to dot my lips where I want that to stick. And I'm just going to do one at a time. If you have a barrier spray, I would recommend that too, because that'll help keep your paint from moving. That concludes my tutorial on this look that I wanted to create for a festival. I love the all white with the jewels. I just think it's so beautiful. If you do recreate this look, please tag me in it on Instagram, and because I would love to see your all's recreations of it. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next tutorial.